You're in my domain, got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane, it's over before you know it. Why you shaking? We're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty, now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over. The soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine, we live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights for the glory. For the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory. We do it for the glory. Yeah, we've waited for our time to come, calculated everything we've done, we've upgraded. Now you can't outrun a champion. Now you're facing what? Can you hear them? Yeah, it's all for us. You believe them? Yeah, it's serious. Hear the siren. We're victorious. I'm telling you. Can I get a hell yeah? Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine, we live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights for the glory. For the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory. We do it for the glory. You're the chaser, I'm the eraser. I ruin your record, I'm back here to break ya. I cut like a razor, so call the trophy engraver. I'm gonna get it, wait till I win it. God, I'm so glad to be in it. Can't wait to say that we did it. This is my life and I live it. Ready to give it my all when you fall back. Taking advantage of all that. Demons on average are so bad. Playing short and your team scratch. Time to assess all the damages. I knew that you couldn't handle this. It takes a man to stand up to the king, and unfortunately you abandoned it. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights for the glory. For the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory. We do it for the glory. This is why we do it. This is what we live for. We on top. We number one. Hands in the sky. Never back down. Never back down. You're gonna know my name. You're gonna know my name.
Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing today? It is Monday night, and that means we are back with the GT45 Prototype Challenge. In just a few moments' time, 12 minutes roughly, we are going to start a qualifying session, and we are going to send these pros out on track to tackle the Nürburgring GP circuit. So all the way to Germany here today, and we eased our competitors in with Daytona last week. A little bit of technical, a lot of bit of high speed. This week, we've added a lot of bit of technical and not so much high speed. So it's going to be interesting to see how each division this week handles the Nürburgring GP. Now, dynamic weather's in play, which means rain could potentially factor into this race within the 50-minute time frame. It is 5 times tire wear, 4 times fuel consumption here for these drivers today. So with that being said, fuel will be an issue. Tires, not so much. So we should see potentially a lot of one-stops or a lot of really bold two-stop strategies here today. That's my prediction here anyways. And we are going to give you just a little bit of quick information here about the Nürburgring GP, ladies and gentlemen. And then we're going to do a lap around the track with, again, our top qualifier, Lucas369. So the length of our track here today is a 3.2-mile racetrack, 5.15 kilometers. It has 15 left and right hand corners. It is a tarmac surface, also a real world circuit, and has an elevation change of 187 feet. All right, this is just a little bit of quick information here about NURB. We may get back to that here in just a little bit. We would also like to congratulate ATK's death. He also is the winner of our Driver of the Day award last week from round 1 here for his great pro debut. So coming in as a Pro-Am from the Pro-Am division last season, qualified very deep into the Pro division this season and had an incredible race. And if you guys have seen the highlight video, he missed 3rd place by mere second by a checkered flag there in the race at Daytona. So it was super close call there and an absolutely outstanding performance for, well, the graphic says it best, a rising sim racing star. So congratulations to ATK's death. He's come a long way since he's joined GT45 Gaming in our championships, and we are absolutely tickled pink to see him up there battling for the podium positions in this pro lobby this season. So go get some, ATK's death. Congratulations for that bonus point as well for round number 1. All right, so with that being said, you can see the lobby starting to fill up here a little bit. So let's jump over to that lap attack from Lucas36 here, and let's make that nice and big. It's gonna be, we'll leave it the way it is. All right, we're gonna let you guys and gals enjoy the lap attack here. So Lucas36 here as he came through turn number 1 there. Now we're into Mercedes Arena. Mercedes Arena is a combination of turn 2, turn number 3, and turn number 4 here. As you see Lucas coming through right now, he's going to take a wide entry. They have changed track limits there slightly, so you really do need to be careful where you're putting your tires on exit there. That takes us down into the Bilstein curve. Actually, I don't think that's the Bilstein curve. I believe the Bilstein curve is a little bit further up the track. I've got my information all incorrect here. That's right, that was the Goodyear curve there. Yes, the Bilstein curve is turn number 11. So, my mistake. Ooh, a little bit of lag there. The stream should settle in here. That's actually the first little bit we've seen so far tonight, but welcome in everybody. Again, this is presented by Ten Tenths Simracing, and I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. So now we're heading into the Bilstein curve here, and that is going to lead us up into the Vito chicane. So this is one of the slowest points in the racetrack besides, of course, Mercedes Arena here today. And you got to really get it down on the brakes, got to get the car slowed down to turn it in, and then you got to be right ready to accelerate back out again, and then that takes us into the Coca-Cola curve as we have it right now. I believe that name has changed recently, but we do not have the current name for it, so we are still calling it the Coca-Cola corner, and there it is. So I'll let you guys now enjoy this lap. Let's go. 4 stops, says Tyrone Kobe. You never know. You just never know what these drivers have in store. So welcome back. So that was a lap around the Nürburgring GP with our top qualifier here this season again, Lucas369. So thank you to him for taking the time to get that together for us. And we are about 5 minutes away here from getting ready to start our qualifying session. So it would be a 5-minute qualifying run. It is racing medium and racing soft tires required here today. Now, this is one of our racing tracks here that rain could potentially come into play. Now, during the practice sessions throughout the week, we haven't seen a whole lot of moisture out on the track, but come race day, that doesn't mean that will all change. That's that 1% chance of a lobby coming into rain, and I gotta tell you, it doesn't look great out in the sky right now here either on the racetrack. So, the drivers do need to use the racing medium and the racing soft tires. They have to use them for 3 full circuit laps. That means start finish line to start finish line. So that means if they start the race on the medium tire and they want to get rid of it as early as possible, they cannot pit until the end of lap 4 to clear that mandate. Now, if it rains fairly steadily up to where they need to take wet tires for 9 laps, so we've estimated a 15-minute session of rain to be at 9 laps here in the lobby. So if the rain persists for 9 laps, that will actually negate the tire mandate. However, that is risk versus reward for our racing competitors because we don't know what the lobby is going to do. We don't know what the weather is going to do. So it will be the same thing for our Pro-Am and Am split division tomorrow night as well. 9 laps is that number. So that will be called live on the stream, of course. We will not call that into the in-game chat because we find that is a distraction for the drivers, and we condone that in our regulations here during active competitions. So race control does have permission to do so, but we've made it very clear in the Discord that it is a 9-lap mandate for that rain if it is to show its face here. If we get a little sprinkle for a couple of laps, that's up to the drivers to decide what they're going to do. That means we're just going to see an extra set of pit stops, potentially. Some of these drivers may choose just to tough it out. Depends on how much water is on the racetrack. Now, Nürburgring GP is a fairly flat surface racetrack, which does make it a very slippery racetrack to navigate if it's wet. So right now, the lobby's not looking great. The lobby's not looking great for the racers, and that's fantastic for the viewers, but we'll see how it goes here. So we're going to reset the lobby in about 2 minutes time here. We'll give it 2 resets, and what that does is resets the lobby back to as if I had just started it fresh, and we'll send these drivers out for qualifying. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like we got 10 on our grid here today. We have had a couple, 1, 2, 3, 4 of our drivers, 5 of our drivers, and not be able to make it here for this racing round for various reasons. So we do have Team Rad's Petrolhead in as a reserve here tonight as well, filling in for one of those spots. So he is going to get his chance at the race here and some points for himself as well today. And he is a very quick driver as well, so it's going to be very interesting to see how he adds to the mix here today. So we are going to reset that lobby in about 30 seconds time, ladies and gentlemen. 30 seconds. We're just going to throw the track map back up here for a minute while we get all this mumbo jumbo out of the way. Hope everybody's having a fantastic start to their week. It is Monday, and if you haven't had the greatest Monday today, well, GT45 Gaming and the Prototype Challenge should make it a little bit better for you. This is going to be a family-friendly broadcast, so the kids are most certainly welcome to come and hang out if it is okay with mom and dad or grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, whatever the case may be. We appreciate all that support out there. Please do not forget to like and share the stream out before you leave here tonight. And if you're fairly new to the content in the page and you like what you're seeing and you're not a member of the page, all you got to do is hit that subscribe or that follow, depending on the platform you're watching from, and turn on all the live notifications, and you'll get notified every time we go live for another great race, whether it be from GT45 Gaming or another great organization that we do commentary for. All right, so we're going to reset that lobby here. Bada bang, bada boom. Go like that. Go like that. 1 reset. Bada bing, bada boom. 2 resets. All right, 2-minute warning has been thrown out. We will start qualifying in 2 minutes time, ladies and gentlemen. So we do have 10 of our 14 drivers here out this week in round number 2. And well, if round number 2 is anything like round number 1, do not miss the beginning of the race. It's going to be very spicy. We had a great battle between Payme, Lucas, and Dudley and Jakey there for the first part of Daytona there too as well. When I say the first part, I mean the first like 8 laps of the race for the race lead. So we'll see how the drivers handle it here today. We had a great racing start there at Daytona as well. Nürburgring GP is a much more difficult racetrack. Turn 1 is a lot tighter. There's space in the turn, but then that takes us into Mercedes Arena, and Mercedes Arena is very, very tight and hard to navigate. So the cars are going to have cold tires. They're going to have lots of boost. It's going to be a very complicating race start here for our competitors today. Now, the red flag rules are at play here today. But with the light damage model, it's going to take a pretty large incident to get that red flag called as well. So the drivers really need to keep it right and tight here on the track at race start. But these are our pros, right? They got this. They got this. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate everybody hanging out. We see you all in the chat. We appreciate y'all. My livery's out of rags. See me wrong, windshield banner. You're all good, you're all good, my G. You're all good, my G. Real life's gotta always come first. We know that. We know that. Alright, so there we go. We're gonna start qualifying here shortly. You ready, ladies and gentlemen at home? Ready for me to hit that button? When we hit that button, there's no going back. These drivers are qualifying and we're racing. Alright, let's go racing. Qualifying time. Let's do it. Let's do it. Big screen. Big screen. Gotta get it to the big screen. Rock and roll. Let's go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. We've had some great races here over the last couple of days. Here at GT45 Gaming, we had a great race from the Gran Turismo racing community. We had a great race from Pure Racing League finale last night. All day yesterday afternoon was great. Set of 3 races. Now we get to start our work week off with 2 beautiful GT45 prototype challenge races. So the content just keeps coming for all the amazing folks and viewers watching at home or at work or wherever it is that you like to watch your content from. We appreciate you. All right, Dudley. Oh, it is going to be Nolander to come out first on track. So let's jump up to Team Rad's Nolander here. He had a good, strong 10th place finish in round number 1 at Daytona. And Payme is our points leader here coming into round number 2. He took the pole position and the race win last week. He did not get that fastest lap, so that is going to give him a 33 points to the nearest competitor at 28 points. So he's got a 4-point advantage here coming into round number 2 before we start qualifying. So this is a 5-minute qualifying session. There is no tire wear, there is no fuel consumption. The cars are set up to be in optimal conditions. It still takes a lap to get the tires up to temperature, maybe a lap and a half, but these drivers should get about 3 attempts here, I think, if they can keep them clean and crisp around the Nürburgring GP here today. We could see a little bit of strategies happening with battery charging. Again, there's been a big discussion about this over the week there with that, so the drivers know what the deal is with that. If they choose to do it, that's up to them, but they cannot interfere with another driver's qualifying run if they choose to charge that battery. So if that does happen during qualifying, of course they will have to deal with our stewarding officials post-race with that, but hopefully we don't see that situation arise here this evening. So it is going to be Dudley. Now this is what we're seeing here right now. He's going to charge up that battery just a little bit as he heads around the final corner here, and this is going to be officially hot lap number 1 here for our field today. Welcome in, everybody. You guys are popping off. We appreciate you all. We see you all there. Let's rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we do have some nice sunny conditions currently here on the racetrack. And we'll take a little sneak peek at that weather radar there as well before we start our race here and see if we can get a little bit of insight potentially what the weather's looking like around the racetrack here this evening. But right now, very nice conditions. It is afternoon here on the racetrack in Germany, and Dudley, who had a very great podium finish, 3rd place last week here, at Daytona, and again, newcomer here to GT45 as well. So let's see what he's got for us here today. He has great pace, and it is going to be fantastic. All right, so let's go here as Dudley's coming around in through the Goodyear curve here right now, and that's just a big long hairpin. It's not as slow as one would think. You can maintain a pretty good amount of speed there. We head up in through the Schumacher S's here. And then that leads us up in towards the Bilstein curve. So a little setup corner here, and a little bit wide there. And that, risking the penalty there is Dudley on the exit. But again, it's all in where you enter the curbing here at Nürburgring GP, we've learned. So he does get away with it there, and he's going to continue on with what looks to be a pretty decent starting lap here, hitting that brake marker just after the 100-meter board, I think, here for these drivers today. And you got to really watch the high part of the curbing with these LMP1 cars, because they really unsettle these cars, and you don't want that happening when you're trying to get on the throttle to try and optimize your battery exit. So here we go, a little wiggle there on the exit, and it's going to be Dudley first across here, and it's a 45.0 here, so let's stick with Nolander as he comes around next. And is he going to have an answer there? So Dudley not having the ideal lap. Nolander's going to take pole position over the 43.1. We got Payme coming through, and again, round one pole sitter and winner here. Petrolhead's going to take pole position, so he swapped around there somewhere. So reserve driver coming in, Payme's going to sit in fourth. Death is going to stay in. Move up into fourth there. We jumped ahead just a little too soon on the poor guy. We've got TT's J set here in sixth place as he's coming around, and Miss Devious went up ahead there, and that's going to be good enough for second place for her. And Jay comes through there. It's going to be fifth place for him. We got Lucas 36 coming through. It's fifth place for Lucas. Ishmael coming through. It's going to be third place for Ishmael. We got ATB coming through here, and he's on a lap too, and it's fourth place for ATB. So it is on here now in qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. So it's Dudley and Nolander there in sixth and fifth, and then we've got our pole sitter Petrolhead, and again our reserve driver coming in here. Go J set. Hey, appreciate everybody. Kilty. We got everybody coming in cheering for the favorite drivers right now. We love to see that. So it is Dudley here, and again, newcomer, very quick driver here. He's out in front of the pack he's got a pretty good gap here in qualifying. He is purple right now, and it is just by a sliver over Team Rap's Petrolhead currently. So here we go, coming in towards the Vito chicane here for the second time in qualifying, and that's it. Checkered flag's going to wave, so that's it. Two cracks at it, and a big slide there coming from Dudley as he comes through. And that is going to hurt the time here a little bit. So let's see what he's got here as he comes around the Nürburgring GP for the final time here in qualifying. And it's a 141. It's going to be good enough there for second place. So that was a good run there. But Petrolhead is coming around here as well. And he is just going to let traffic through there. So we do have Payme coming through there. Where is our boy Payme? There's Payme. And let's see what Payme's got as he comes around. This is his final crack at it. He didn't get a good first lap there. We got Nolander coming in behind at his pole position there from Payme. We got ATK's Death coming in behind. We're just going to sit there for a second. And where does Death come in? He does improve, and it's going to be seventh place there for ATK's Death. All right, let's keep looking here. Oh, we do have a driver coming through. There's Miss Devious. It's going to be fourth place there for her as she comes through. J-Set moves himself up into eighth place. Pardon me, got something tickling there. We got Lucas 36 coming through there. He's going to take pole position with a 140.779. We got Ishmael, I believe, coming up here just ahead as well. Where was ATB here, and he is down on this lap, so it won't be an improvement here. And woof, that's it. Nolander's not even going to get that lap finished up there. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is a quick qualifying run. 5 minutes is not a lot of time here at these tracks. So and some of our tracks are fairly large race tracks here this season, so that is going to change up how the drivers are going to opt to take their qualifying runs. But it is going to be Lucas 36 with a 140.779 there to take pole position over Payme with a 141 flat. It's a 141.2 for Petrolhead. It is a 141.4 for Dudley. Ten Tenths Misdevious with a 141.7, a 141.8 for Ishmael's Truth from ERA. We've got RA's ATB with a 42 flat. ATK's Death with a 42.8. Moving down into the field is Ten Tenths J-Set with a 43 flat, and Rad Nolander with a 43.1 here. So that is going to be our starting grid here today. We'll give them a couple minutes here, get settled in. That was a quick qualifying run, ladies and gentlemen. So you can see it's going to be about a minute 41 to about a minute 44 here barring that there's no rain, of course, on the racetrack here today. So rain is that question mark today. We are using that dynamic weather. So let's take a look at our weather radar here. And this is over the last hour here at the racetrack. So we have not seen any moisture coming in towards our racetrack here. Looking good so far for our drivers. We'll wait. It's all good. We are going to have to do this. Do this, do this. This. And do this. Alright. Alright, so we'll give Ten Tenths Misdevious a few minutes to reset the equipment and jump back into the lobby here, and we'll reset that lobby up, and then we'll get the race underway. So it'll just be a couple minutes here, ladies and gentlemen, so we do apologize for that. Sometimes things happen. And we can go back and talk a little bit here about our racetrack in the meantime. So let's go do that. Let's go do that. All right, Nürburgring GP, ladies and gentlemen. So let's have a little chat about this while we wait for Ten Tenths Misdevious to come in. So turn number 1 here, it's the Yokohama S. It's a downhill grade brake zone. Drivers need to be aware of the elevation change of the track surface, as this may upset the car. That leads us into turns 2, 3, and 4, Mercedes Arena, AMG Arena. Section of the track is very unique. T2 crests the hill, which will have an impact on grip. The brake zone for turn 3 is very downhill grade. Some drivers may use turn 3 to set up, so their line for turn 4 is optimized and intentionally run wide on the exit. We have seen that a lot around here, but again, they've changed the track limits a little bit there. Alright, so T5 may present passing opportunities. Keep your eyes open. Just be sure not to compromise the exit of turn 5. Some drivers will use turn 5 to set up for turn 6 to get the run out of turn 6. Now, that leads us up into the Goodyear curve. It will present many opportunities for passing in the entry as well as on the exit. Goodyear is important to get right because drivers will be full throttle right to turn 10. Now, that takes us up and through the Schumacher S's, which is a full send up into those S's. That leads us into turn 10, and that's called the Bilstein curve. And it's a turn that some drivers may see as 2 separate turns, others see it as 2 linked turns. So it's a little bit of an interesting corner depending how you like to advance. And then we got that little kink, and it's at Van Bogen. It's a very mid turn, a kink in the road. There's more than enough room for drivers to go 2, maybe even 3 wide. They're full send, no lift. And then that takes us into of course, turns number 13 and 14, the Vito chicane, and it's like threading the needle there. Many drivers will attempt passes there. The apex curves are watched extremely closely by the track officials. Clipping the apex too much will result in a penalty. And then, of course, it's the Hyundai curve, pardon me, as we have it now, heading into the final corner there. And the Hyundai curve is more than a 145-degree right-hand turn. Drivers should have visual references to navigate this turn effectively. Expect to see many passing attempts there. And you have to be careful as the inside driver as well in the Hyundai curve, because pit lane wall there can catch drivers out if they get a little too tight as well. Alright, so we have all our drivers ticked in, so let's go set that grid and let's get our race underway here. So I need to bring up a couple of things here. Lucas Payme Petro Dudley. Misdevious Ishmael, ATB in depth. J-Set Nolander. Alright. Double check. Lucas Payme, Petro Dudley, Misdevious Ishmael, ATB, Death. J-Set Nolander. Check, check, check. Alright, so it's good to have that happen before the race started, so at least you had an opportunity to get back in, get reset up, so we can get moving and grooving here. So again, let's take that down. Let's move it back over to the big screen here, and we are about to get the race underway here. All right, let's catch up on chat. Go JSET, go Payme, let's go. More than enough room to hit the like button. Love that, Sam. What's up, Ghosty? Great to have something to watch after my 500 miles today of sucking. Oh, had a rough day today, Rob. Sorry to hear that, my dude. Good luck all, says Jay. All right, guys and gals, thank you for the likes, the shares. Let's keep it rocking. Let's keep it rolling. Drivers are checked in. Let's go racing. All right. The button is hit. We're 10 seconds away from that grid being lined up, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome into the GT45 Prototype Challenge presented by 10 Tenths Simracing. I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming, family-friendly broadcast. 50 minutes, 5-0 on the clock. Nürburgring GP. Racing medium, racing soft, tires required. Random weather. Kick them tires, light them fires. We're going racing, and we're doing it fast, folks. We're just waiting for them to drop the green flag, and we're going to sit with pole sitter Lucas 369 here tonight. And we are green, 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 green. And everybody gets off the line. Good start here. Now, turns 1 through about 8 here is going to be very tricky early on here. You can see drivers are going to go out very wide. They're on cold tires. These drivers have a lot of battery built up in these cars because they haven't used any yet. We're 3 wide here coming through turn 2. And, ooh, everybody's getting a little wiggly squiggly here, but we are keeping it real tight here. And another great looking start here from our Pro Division. Again today, JSET 9th, Nolander in 10th. So it is Lucas 369 here, and he does get the whole shot out. He is going to hold down the race lead here as we get underway for round number 2, ladies and gentlemen. We are good. We are golden. Red flags are no longer going to apply here tonight. We're racing. All right, let's get to this early battle here. Now, these 3 right here had an intense battle at Daytona last week for round number 1. Dudley, Payme, and Lucas 369. They had a very spicy early race battle here, kind of try and sort each other's out on the position on the racetrack, and it really made for some great action on the racetrack. So let's see if we see much of the same thing here tonight. We got Miss Devious and Petrolhead here battling for position. Miss Devious getting up into 4th place there. Let's see if we can go get another look at that. Oh, we just missed it there, but it was coming up in through the... Oh, no, it was a defensive response there as Petrolhead tried to get the job done. Heading up in towards the Bilstein curve there, and Miss Devious defending the position off there. So great defense there from 10 Tenths Miss Devious as she holds down 4th place there. Team Rad's Petrolhead here in 5th position. We got ATV in 6th. We've got TTJ set up a spot here into 7th. Nolander into 8th. We got Death here in 9th, and we got Ishmael here in 10th position. And a little bit of damage there on those 2 racing cars, so maybe a little bit of an incident there that we missed in the background. So Payme, Dudley side by side here as we head into... I can't remember the corner's name. In turn number 1, back into Mercedes Arena here, or AMG Arena, pardon me, now as it's formally called, I guess. And Dudley does get the position over Payme here. So now Payme sits in 3rd place here. We're going to stick with this just for a moment, see if we see a response. But we do have this active battle in behind from Team Rat's Petrolhead and Miss Devious. And again, we just, ooh, a big response there. Hold on, let's finish that replay off. We get back to the live action here. Oh, and there's nothing happening there. All right, let's go take back a look at the replay here. This is a crazy start to the race. So wide entry there from Petrolhead there, and he gets a good run on 10 Tenths Miss Devious there on the outside. That was an interesting line coming through there, and he's holding strong through turn number 3. Gives him the inside line for turn number 4, and he gets a good run through there. But then maybe a little bit of contact there between the 2. I'm not sure, but he got out into that curbing. He got into that slippery surface there. And that's always a dangerous spot to be with these LMP1 cars, and that boost in these cars is very quick. The painted surface is very slippery, and again, Nürburgring GP has a very flat surface racetrack in a sense, so it's a slippery surface, even the tarmac surface on this racetrack. So the drivers have a lot to deal with here today. Miss Devious and Petrolhead here battling it out for 4th and 5th place, and there's so much going on up front here. It's really hard to just get to the back of the pack and see what's happening in our second half of the pack here. And I'm stumbling over myself today because there's so much going on. And side by side there, that is tough to do. A little bit of contact there. Miss Devious is going to concede the position there. And that is going to be 6th place or 5th place there for Miss Devious, and Petrolhead now up into 4th. So A little bit of patience, a little bit of sportsmanship being shown between the drivers there, and they're going to continue on. There's a lot of race left. We're only 3.5 minutes in, so the second half of the pack is playing a little nicer here. We got ATB in 6th, we got JSET in 7th, Nolander in 8th, Death in 9th, and Ishmael here in 10th. So I think Death and Ishmael having an issue on the racetrack maybe potentially got together, and that put them back down a couple of spots at the grid there, but they're still in the back of the pack there, so lots can happen. We're going to see at least one pit stop here today, potentially two. It's going to really come down to what the drivers have in mind here today. It depends on pit stop length. Again, refueling speed for our drivers is 5 liters per second, so refueling speed isn't too terrible here, so that's not really the issue. Is whether or not they want to take 2 sets of soft tires or not today, really is what that comes down to. So either we're going to see a really long, medium, soft run between the drivers. Whoa, and Pepe gets it a little bit wrong there on the exit. That was a huge wiggle. Great recovery right there from Pepe. He's going to pick up a half-second track limit penalty, unfortunately, for that too. So that is really, really going to set him back there. But Dudley getting that second place secured down there as they were re-engaged in that battle for the position. And Pepe, very fortunate there that he didn't lose that car fully. He gathers it back up, but that does allow Petrolhead here now to close in a little bit with that half-second track limit penalty. Not in the worst spot in the world here at Nürburgring GP. I mean, you lose a little bit of momentum, but you're coming into a braking zone fairly quickly at that point, so you're going to lose a little bit of time, but not quite as drastic as we see on these bigger racetracks, especially with these LMP1 cars. So it was about a 9/10 of a second we've seen Pepe lose out of that half-second, so you lose a little bit extra, but it's not entirely terrible, not like it was at Daytona where we're seeing 1.5 second loss on a 1 second penalty due to the nature of where the serving zone was. So we got TTJ set coming into pit lane here. ATB is in 6th place. We've got Dolander here in 7th. We've got Death in 8th. So we've got Ishmael also in pit lane here. So 2 drivers coming in very, very early. So Lucas 369, he's got 3.4 seconds up the road here. And this has kind of contributed to Dudley and Pepe having that small little battle there. And now that battle is not fully engaged here and these drivers are separated a little bit here, let's see if Dudley can charge back in on Lucas 369. And Pepe is trying to do much of the same thing back Dudley here. He's got 3.8 seconds currently right now. Check the weather radar. I cannot. Oh, we do have rain. We do have rain. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are raining on the racetrack, and that is why I think we've seen 2 of our drivers make some pit stops here. So here we go. That's crazy because we have not seen rain all week long in all the practice lobbies, and here it is on the racing track. So this is going to get very interesting very quickly. All these drivers except for Ishmael are on racing slick still currently here. So here we go. What are these drivers going to do? We are well into intermediate racing tire range here, and this rain, it's coming down pretty good here, and you can see, oh boy, drivers are really checking up here, and this is going to make things interesting. That may be a reset, and that is a little bit dangerous here. We never thought about that at the racetrack there, but he is going to be okay. So the drivers really, really going to have to be patient here. We got Paymate leaving the room here. Disconnect, I'm not sure. The rain has stopped. All right, wow, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. You knew it, Kilty, you knew it? Well, there we go. All right, so it looks like the rain itself has actually stopped on the racetrack, and that has really separated the field here. So, all right, here we go. Lucas has opted to continue around the racetrack. So these guys are, of course, in conversation with their crews behind the walls. We've got ATB coming in here, and you can see the drivers are tempting fate here right now. We've got Petrolhead here in 4th position. This is really going to change the dynamic of this race. We got Miss Devious and ATK's Death coming up beside each other here. Miss Devious has made a pit stop. ATK Death is coming through on warmed up slicks here. So this has gotten very interesting. We got Ishmael on the intermediate tires here. So he's the only driver that has come in and taken some intermediate tires here, and you can see he has got grip for days right now on these drivers on these racing slicks. So he has gotten around ATK's Death, and Ishmael made a good call here. He was paying attention. Oh, Miss Devious has a big squiggle there as she was on the wide side of the entry there. She's going to lose 2 positions here, and this has changed this race completely here today. as rain has settled in here at the Nürburgring, and oh boy, this is going to make the racing extremely difficult here for the drivers. Now they have to worry about how they're going to add this into their strategy. And the Pro Division, I'm not surprised to see them trying to tackle it with these racing slick tires, to be honest. You know, I'm not surprised. I'm not at all surprised to see that happening here today. Dudley here in second position. We've got Petrolhead here in third place. We've got ATB in fourth position. We've got Ishmael here in fifth. We've got Misdevious here in sixth place. We've got ATK's Death here in seventh position. Got TTJ set in 8th. We got Nolander here in 9th. And we're not sure what happened to Payme there, but currently now in the paddock there. So we are down one driver here today at the Nürburgring GP. And, well, maybe I did jinx it a little bit today in the Discord server. Hey, guys, maybe I did. Maybe I did. All right, Lucas in the lead here. 2.9 seconds is that gap. So Dudley's doing a pretty good job at maintaining the pace to Lucas 369 here right now. And Dudley did say in the podium interviews last week that he kind of hopes it rains because he likes it racing in the rain. So he is kind of showing that here. Team Rat's Petrolhead, he made an early pit stop there. He decided to jump in on the intermediate tires as well. We have Ishmael here in fourth place. He also took some intermediate tires there when he made that pit stop. So he was kind of paying attention for sure to that weather radar. We got Misdevious here on the racing softs. We got ATK's Death here on the racing mediums. We got TT's J set here on the racing softs as well. We've got ATB on the racing softs, and we've got Nolander on intermediates here, and we're on lap 6. We're 10 minutes into the race. There's still 40 minutes remaining. And that threw a wrench into the program for the drivers now, didn't it? We'll see who got the rain practice in. Yeah, facts, right? Ain't that the truth? It's very, very difficult to prepare for dynamic weather in league racing. So, you know, the drivers already kind of have a lot to deal with these LMP1 cars, the prototype cars, being so technical, being so fast, high downforces, a little bit different to drive and operate. And then we throw in this random weather model at them. So we've really complicated the series with the weather random model. And I'm glad to see that that great dynamic weather from Gran Turismo 7 here is doing exactly what it's designed to do and make things a lot more interesting. So it is Lucas 369 here in the race lead. It's Dudley here in second place. And you can see the track starting to slowly dry up. Now, again, it's not a very porous racetrack surface here at Nürburgring GP. You can see that the water just kind of sits there because it doesn't really have anywhere to go except for any elevated parts of the racetrack. It'll run down to the lower points, but then it just takes forever it takes forever to, and then I had the reset. I never thought about the reset in the chicane. Alright, so Misdevious down one position there as Death gets that position from her there, so she recovered that fairly quickly. We got TT's J set, he's going to close in here a little bit. So again, it's interesting because now the intermediate tire drivers are in that range of having to search for water on the racetrack in a sense because they need to keep the tires cool or they're going to wear down very quickly. So you can see now the sun is blazing here at the racetrack right now. And very quickly we went from rain to very nice conditions. So the time multiplier is 4 times, it's 4 times here. So every hour is 4 hours right now on the racetrack essentially. So we're surpassing 4 hours worth of time frame here today in our race essentially is what that works out to. So we've seen a little bit of rain and a little bit of sun here so far. What is next? So that separated the field a little bit. That's unfortunate. But not surprising as well as, of course, everybody taking on different strategies here. So now we have some drivers that are still sticking to their strategies that they had in mind when they came into the race. And now we have some other drivers that are on alternate strategies because they did opt to take into that racing tire, rain racing tire. Now, that doesn't mean that the rain is gone for good here today. I cannot check weather radar anymore unless I leave the lobby to do it, I guess. So the drivers can. So they know a little bit more than we do right now. But that was a good call out by the viewers there. And you can see how quickly those intermediate racing wet tires are starting to wear down here now as that track is starting to dry out, and it's starting to dry out relatively quickly. Now, there is still a lot of danger zones here in the racetrack, again, because it's such a flat surface racetrack. There's not a lot of, the water just doesn't run off here very quickly. So the drivers need to tiptoe around the racetrack here still. You can see Lucas flirting with the track limits a little bit there, and there's a big gap here between Lucas and Dudley and the rest of the field here now. So Ishmael is on that intermediate racing tire, and that's going to be a tough hold here as he's got ATK's Death in 4th place on the medium tire now, chasing him. Is Devious here on the soft tire, chasing Petrolhead here also in 6th place. He has come out of pit lane on the racing medium tire here now, and he is all over the backside of Ten Tenths Simracing's Miss Devious here. So the rain may have thrown the drivers potentially out of rhythm a little bit here as well. We have ATB in 8th position, and Nolander now coming in for some racing slicks here again. So interesting strategies at play. So let's see how this all plays out. Right now, obviously Lucas 369 and Dudley are in a great position there, and Payme would have been right there with him there if he may have disconnected. I'm not sure what happened there, but if he was still on track, he'd be potentially tracking right in with this group here, as he would have been toughing it out here as well. So that was just a very quick little rain shower there, and it got very wet very quickly as well. So ooh, Dudley there, you can see he was still in a little bit of wet there. You can see that dark part of the racetrack, and that got him a big slide around the racetrack here. We got Ishmael in 3rd place here, and he currently 30 seconds in behind the group here right now. So that very interesting, very interesting. And Death is closing in, and Ishmael's like, yep, nope, okay, got to make that stop, got to get out of these shoes here. We got to get some proper footwear on our LMP1 car. So Miss Devious now coming around here, and she will grab that position back. So Petrolhead here in 6th place will move back up into 5th place. TT's J-Set's going to move up into 6th. He toughed it out on the racing slicks there, made a good call. And ATB here in 7th. And Nolander here coming around, and it is a tough day of racing out there with the weather for the drivers. It's really separated the field here today, and that's unfortunate, but that's racing. That's why we use the dynamic weather. You just never know what it's going to throw at us. So fantastic stuff. We did speculate it was looking quite gloomy during qualifying conditions on the racetrack there, so it released what it had in store for us, and then now it's nice and sunny out again here. So hopefully the drivers will have a nice good run all the way to the end here now. Or maybe they won't. Maybe it'll rain some more. But we're a little under a half a tank of fuel here. There's still 34 minutes on the clock, so we've only used 16 minutes of that clock up. So again, that does put the drivers in range for a one-stop strategy here today on fuel. And you can see the tires not doing too terrible here either on the racetrack. Now, a little bit of obviously cooler racetrack definitely didn't hurt these tires as far as wear went. The racing slicks, it just definitely hurt their grip levels for a little while. ATK Death, he's got 30 seconds here. We got Miss Devious in 4th place. She's 2 seconds in behind him. We got Team Rad's Petrolhead and J-Set battling it out here, and J-Set's going to get the job done there. He slips right on through. And that was a great little move there as we head up into the Schumacher Vital chicane, pardon me there. So in Bilstein curve, again, providing a great passing opportunity. And for the time being here, J-Set is going to hold 5th place down from Team Rad's Petrolhead. So that was a great little exchange of those two drivers there. Now ATB here in 7th. We got Ishmael in 8th place, and we got Nolander in 9th. So we can see it looks like it's going to be about 30 minutes as a fuel range here for these cars. If they fuel save a little tiny bit, they may potentially be able to stretch that out to maybe 32, 33 minutes. So it's going to be interesting now to see some of the drivers, if they pit around this 30-minute mark, if they're going to try and stretch the race out on whatever tire it is that they're choosing to run on now. With that little bit of rain coming onto the racetrack, changing up the pit strategies a little bit, and obviously some gaps needing to be closed up in order to try and gain positions in some circumstances, depending where in the field these drivers are. It's going to be interesting to see now if drivers are going to try and really stretch a long stint out on, say, the racing medium tire, which holds relatively good pace around here. And of course the tire holds up fairly well as well around the racetrack. However, with that being said, the racing soft tire holds very well here as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if we see some drivers now try to really stretch out like 30 or 28 minute long fuel stint out here to try and not have to make another pit stop to try and close up some gaps. So that's kind of the storyline here now today, I think, as far as our race goes. Dudley's got 6.8 seconds in behind Lucas 36 here. Misdevious and ATK Death battling it out for third place here right now. And as we head into the Velo chicane, it is going to be Death to hold the position there. And TT's J-Set now closing in behind. He's bringing Petrolhead with him here. So potentially four-way battle for the final podium position here starting to develop on the racetrack as well. So got a nice tight little group here. And oh, J-Set there with a half-second track limit penalty. That's not ideal as he's trying to continue to open the gap up on Petrolhead. Now ATB is closing up in on this fight here as well. And then we have Ishmael and Nolander. They were on those racing wet tires, so they have made their pit stops to come out on these racing slicks. My concern with Nolander and Ishmael is did they pit just a hair too soon to stretch that fuel out far enough to go the rest of the race? It is a very tough car, absolutely, Paul, absolutely. Four-wheel drive LMP1 car with a crazy boost system in it, and these cars really used to boost up early in the boost life of the car as well. So it is a very tough car to drive, and then throw a little bit of rain into the mix. Now the drivers handled that rain pretty well, I gotta say, all things considered there. Alright, so Dudley here in second place. He is trying to close the gap back up to Lucas, currently maintaining. We got a battle in behind here between J-Set and ATK's Death. Misdevious has gotten third place away from Death here on this last go around here on lap number 11. So we're going to stick with this battle here. Jay took a good look at ATK Death, but ATK Death has been up to the task so far here this season in these LMP1 cars up at this lobby. And you can see there he got a great run coming out of Bilstein Curve there, heading up into the Velo chicane, and he really closed in on 10 Tenths Misdevious here to try and re-engage third place battle. And he gets up the inside there, and a hole opens, and he looked right on through there. So 10 Tenths Misdevious is driving in the VR2 headset as well, so cannot always see everything that's going on around her. Probably was not aware that Death took the hole, and now looking to respond here. She took a look, tucks back in, no response there from Death, and it's battle on here as we head in through AMG Arena. And this again is a active battle here for third position, currently between two drivers, but we do have a third driver not too far off in the distance there. Oh, and Misdevious really had to check up hard there. She got a great run coming into turn 3 there, and had to check up not to get into the back end of Death there. Almost lost that car, gathers it back up, and then gets back into the fight, and now she's looking to take third place away from Death. But Death is like, hold on here, little missy, I am not finished here. And this is a great battle here. These guys are banging wheels, swapping paint, side-by-side action here for third place right now. And this is allowing J-Set and Petrolhead to open the door there. And oh, a little bit of a touch there potentially, I'm not sure, but Death is at the mercy of the pack here right now. As you can see, I believe Petrolhead and ATB is going to go. No, is that ATB? Yeah, it was ATB going to go around there. So Lucas in pit lane. Dudley's going to stay out. That was really unfortunate there for Death. And it looked like there might have been contact there, but it was very, very close. It was very hard to say, but great battling there between the two on the racetrack. And again, feisty battles in these LMP1 cars. So Lucas in pit lane. Misdevious is coming around here. She's currently holding third place. J-Set is right there in fourth position as well, tucked right in behind. ATB now up into fifth place with Petrolhead tucked right in underneath him, and Death back on the charge here in seventh position. We got Ishmael here in eighth. We've got Rad's Nolander in ninth. And Payme retired here today. Pardon me. In 10th place. All right, so Dudley, I'm not sure. He is looking like he is just going to stretch this stint right out here potentially. And just try to open a gap up on Lucas 369 here potentially. We got Lucas now out of his pit stop. He's in second place, and the gap is 15.4 seconds to Dudley. We got Misdevious still holding third place there, but Jay is trying to close in as he comes through AMG Arena there. He gets a really good run through there, but Misdevious also gets a good exit through there. And that gap stays at about that 0.6 of a second here for the time being. We've got Team Rad's Petrolhead here in fifth place now, so he's gotten around ATV. These two continue to battle for fifth and sixth place, and ATK Death in seventh place there. He's hungry, he's lingering, and he is trying to close back in on these two and get re-engaged to try to get back up into the field here. right? Stick with this here for a minute. So Petrohead coming in as a substitute driver here tonight as well. So looking real sharp here in the cars here today. And ATB is putting the pressure on him here. And this has been an active battle between these two over the last couple of laps here. And like I said, ATK's death just right there, 1.4 seconds in behind. The more these two continue to kind of scrap it out here, that should allow him to close back in. We got Miss Devious here now in 7th place. I think she may have given the position up, actually, as there's no pit stop there. So it is Dudley here in 1st place. It's Lucas in 2nd. We've got Jay here now in 3rd place. We've got Petrol here in 4th. We've got ATB in 5th. We've got Death there in 6th. We've got Miss Devious here in 7th. And she is about 6 seconds in behind. She may have maybe had a spin there that we missed or something potentially. We don't know. We missed it. We're just speculating. We're looking for stuff to be happening on the racetrack right now because the rain really spread the field out here. So we got Dudley in 1st place, and the gap is closing. Lucas is closing the gap here actually on Dudley here right now on those fresh medium tires. So Jay said here in 3rd place, and he's coming around AMG Arena into turn number 4 here right now. And there's 3.4 seconds to Team Rad's Petrolhead, and it is a 3-way fight here for 5th place between Death, Petrol, and ATB. ATB is going to get the job done there on the outside, coming through AMG Arena, and the battle now engaged between Death and Petrolhead. Death on the defense, he clipped that curb there, and I think the curb actually slowed him down a little bit there, but he's going to look for the over-under here, and is he going to respond back on Petrolhead? This is a fantastic battle here between these two right now, and here we go. Does he look up the inside? He does not have the position there. Petrolhead defends it off, and this is a great battle right here, but let's get up to our now 4th place driver here, ATB, and go take a look at that battle here. Petrolhead going a little bit wide coming into AMG Arena through turn 2. That opened the door there for ATB, and he's hanging it tough on the outside. Gets a great run through into turn number 4. He uses that wide exit lane there and gets the job done. That was a great move right there from ATB. And again, another one of our Pro-Am drivers from last season coming into the Pro Division this season, and he's been doing really well here so far early on in the season. But it is Dudley currently leading the way here, 15-second gap to Lucas, who has made that pit stop. We got TT's J set here in 3rd position. We got ATB here in 4th. We got Petrol in 5th coming into pit lane. We've got ATK Death right behind coming into pit lane. We got Miss Devious coming around, and that should give her 5th place back as she jumps over those two in pit lane. Ishmael now coming around here as well. He's going to grab 6th place as he comes around. He's also going to take that fastest lap on the racetrack here, the 42.429. So Ishmael is starting to track in. Nolander here is a little bit behind the pack here. So again, a couple of the drivers getting really caught out by that rain. Weren't really sure how long that was going to last for. They decided to come in late to get some intermediate tires. Nolander, and that is just, he had to make that extra pit stop now, and that set him back about 25 extra seconds there. So unfortunately there for Nolander, he's got some track to make up, but so does Ishmael. He did the same thing. However, Ishmael took intermediate tires on his scheduled pit stop, and just happened to be aware that rain was coming, and then he did have to add an extra pit stop into his strategy potentially. Now, like I said, we did speculate that we could potentially see these drivers get up to 32 minutes out of a tank of fuel, I think, judging by what we've seen from that stint. He may be good to go to the distance. If that's the case, he may have actually set himself up to be in a pretty good position here today, at least maybe for a podium. It's hard to say for 1st and 2nd place. These guys have been on a tear all race long. They didn't make a pit stop for racing wet tires when the rain came in. They stayed out on their racing slicks, and they just slowed it down and managed their race car till the track dried back up. And ooh, big moment right there from Lucas, 36 as he comes around the corner. And that is not ideal there for him. Dudley's still in pit lane though, but boy, and he's just having all kinds of trouble getting that car there. Now again, remember, it did rain at the beginning of this race. The outside of the track, the grass and the sand is still going to be holding moisture. So that is what we're seeing there from Lucas as he tried to get himself going He had a little bit of wet grass and probably some mud on the backside of those tires, and he just could not get the car going. So unfortunate for him there, he really set himself back a little bit there. That's probably a 5, 6, maybe 10-second loss there. J-Set now closing in, but he's got Dudley right on his tail here as well. We got Ishmael up into 4th place. ATB is just in behind him there, 8/10 of a second. Miss Devious is now making her pit stop here. We've got ATK's Death coming around with Petrolhead here, and they're very close together, and they're both going to jump just ahead of Miss Devious there as she's in pit lane. Miss Devious is coming out just in behind this group here as well. And oh no, are we having another... I thought we were having a technical issue there. We may have had a technical issue there. That looked like a technical issue there for Miss Devious as well. So tough racing here tonight for our Pro Division. It's going to be very interesting to see what happened here to our drivers tonight after the race tonight. Very interesting. Alright, so Lucas369 here in the racing lead. We've got TT's J-Set here in 2nd position. We got Dudley here in 3rd place. Went to hit that button, but just missed it there. And a 10-second gap from Jay to Lucas, and 2 seconds from J-Set to Dudley. Ishmael's 10 seconds in behind the podium, with ATV trailing 2.7 seconds in behind. We've got ATK Death there now, 27 seconds back, but potentially set up to go the distance here with Team Rad's Petrolhead. Miss Devious here as well, potentially set up to go the distance here, but that 3-second penalty is not ideal there for coming out of pit lane there. And Olander may need to stop one more time yet. It's hard to say. It's going to have to see how he manages those tires and that fuel. But it is Lucas369 here, and he's just going to take a short medium stint here. You can see he didn't take any fuel in that pit stop. So the big concern here for Lucas369 with that moment coming out of turn 1 into Mercedes or AMG Arena there was the fact that he is planning on making another pit stop here, because he's just on a 4-lap medium strategy here, and then he's planning on obviously jumping back onto those soft tires and then full sending the rest of the race. So now he's potentially going to have some work to do there, as the gap was 15 seconds between Dudley and Lucas when that whole exchange of pit stops happened. He ideally needed that to be at least 15 seconds or bigger when he goes to finally make his pit stop, to at least make that an even transition of pit stops. Right now he's down about what I figure 3.5 seconds on that transition now, with that very unfortunate incident. And we're going to see that pit stop coming now from Lucas36, and I wasn't sure if he had enough fuel to go the rest of the distance here or not. So it's going to be TT's J-Set here, and he's going to go around one more time, and that's going to give him the race lead here. So it'll be the first time tonight for TT's J-Set that he's going to hold the race lead here, and he'll get that when he comes across the start-finish line. So Dudley is going to come around. That's going to move him back up into 2nd place, and it's going to be interesting to see what that gap is now, because Dudley may not necessarily be making another pit stop, so that is going to be that much extra time that Lucas is going to potentially have to make up here. So Ishmael here in 3rd place, and he is flying right now up in 3rd position. He's got 4 seconds on ATV there, and then there's a large gap to the rest of the field there. And some of these drivers are the drivers that took intermediate tires. Some of them have just made their final pit stops. With his Petrolhead, we got ATK, Death, and Miss Devious here. I can't find Death. There he is. And the gap's about 3, 4, 5 seconds separating the drivers here right now, a little bit more depending on what part of the field we're on. But right now, 2.3 seconds separating Ten Tenths J-Set and Dudley here in the race lead. And I'm assuming we're going to be seeing a pit stop coming very soon here from J-Set, either this time around or next time, as that fuel tank is looking a little low here in this LMP1 car. So the cars the drivers are racing tonight, we forgot to cover this here earlier, is the Audi R18. It's a 2016 Jost Edition Audi R18 LMP1 car. So it's a little bit older technology here, but it is a fun, spicy little race car to race around the Nürburgring GP here today. And right now J-Set with the race lead, but when he does make that pit stop, he will of course give that back up to Dudley currently, who is in second place. Ishmael here in third position. We got ATB in fourth place, and a half-second track limit penalty there for him, so not ideal. We've got Lucas 369 here, and the gap is 24.5 seconds to J-Set right now, so that's about 22 seconds to Dudley. So he lost about 6 seconds, maybe 7 in that rough exchange there coming out of turn number 1. So that is not ideal there for Lucas. We've got ATK's Death here in 7th place. We've got Misdevious in 8th, 6 seconds behind, and Nolander here in 9th place. And I mean, at the end of the day, all the drivers getting top 10 points here today. So that's always a plus. When there's a small field, you always know you're getting good points at the end of the day, no matter where you finish in the grid. So there's always that fun little tidbit there to think about as a driver sometimes too. If your race isn't quite going your way, you're still getting good points. Top 10 points is good points. Good points. Keeps you fighting. So it is Ishmael here in second position. We got ATB here in third place. And I gotta tell you, we're starting to see afternoon going into our evening conditions here now, and we're starting to see a little bit of cloud cover coming back into our racetrack here again. So it's going to potentially be an interesting race finish here as well. We got ATK's Death in 7th place. We've got Misdevious here in 8th. He is closing in 5.3 seconds now. Nolander also closing in a little bit here now. Got it under 25 seconds. So Dudley is moving. It's 5.9 seconds ahead of Ishmael here right now. Ishmael is going to need to make another pit stop here, though, as there's still 16 minutes on the clock. But he's doing a great job at having a recovery drive here today. We've got ATB here in third position. We got Lucas 369 here now in fourth place. We've got 10 Tenths J-Set here in fifth position. We've got Petrolhead here in sixth place. We've got ATK's Death here in seventh. We've got Misdevious in eighth, and we've got Nolander here in ninth position. All right. Lots of gaps here with 15 minutes remaining. Normally we're going to start seeing drivers get into, say, a final transition of pit stops around this time, which we are going to see essentially. Some drivers still need to make a final pit stop here for this race to have enough fuel and tire to get there. And potentially the weather may change things yet here as well too. You can see it's very quickly changing here. The track has gotten very dark. It's not as sunny and gleaming on our racetrack here. And you can see as we get into the AMG Arena here, there's just a dark cloud kind of hanging over the racetrack here. So I'm not sure if we're out of the woods here for the moisture today at Nürburgring GP either. So interesting, very, very interesting here. All right, so Ishmael in pit lane here, and he's going to come out just ahead of Team Rad's Petrolhead. It looks like. Let's jump up there here as he's coming around into turn number one, and it's about 1.5 seconds there as Rad Petrolhead is just coming through. So Ishmael here now up into fifth place, so he's actually done a great job at recovering from that extra pit stop with the rain there. ATB, he's in second place. He's got 11.6 seconds on Dudley here right now. We've got Lucas 369. He's in third place, and he's got 17 seconds to the leader here. We've got DT's J-Set. He's in fourth position, and he's got 16 seconds to Lucas. Ishmael in behind. He's got 3 seconds to J-Set, and looks like it's about maintaining. Petrolhead's just in behind Ishmael, 1.2 seconds. Death is 4.5 seconds in behind those guys. So the gaps are starting to close here. Misdevious is tracking in on ATK's Death here, and Nolander is having a rough day. A little bit behind. Extra pit stop due to the rain early on in the race, so he had decided to make a late tire change there, and ultimately I think that's what's got that gap to about where it is there for Nolander. So again, just each driver having to make tough decisions when the weather changes, and for some it works out, for some not so much. ATB coming into pit lane. We knew that was coming soon enough here. He was getting pretty low on fuel, so he has 20 seconds to TT's J-Set here, and I'm assuming with only 14 minutes remaining, we're going to see about a half a tank of fuel put into that racing car. So he's going to lose a couple of positions here, potentially 3, as J-Set now moves up into third place. Got Ishmael up into fourth. We've got Team Rad's Petrolhead here in fifth. ATB is now dropping down here. He is in seventh, but he has been released. And Misdevious is closing in very, very quickly here as well. So ATB comes out just in behind ATK's Death, and the gap is about 1.6 seconds there. And I tell you, it looks so gloomy over the AMG arena right now. It's very, very disconcerting, I'm sure, for the drivers as they're coming into that section. And then as you get back out into the latter part of the racetrack, it kind of lightens up a little bit, and it's only partially cloudy, so a little bit of weather moving through Nürburgring GP here this Monday evening, and it's made for an interesting night of racing. So TT's J said here at third place, we got Ishmael up into fourth place, and right now he's definitely in that discussion for driver of the day right now. We've got Team Rad's Petrolhead in fifth, we've got ATK's Death in sixth, we've got ATB in seventh, you got Ten Tenths Misdevious here in eighth place, and we've got Nolander hanging it tough here in ninth position right now. He's got some fuel. I think he just took a splash there, and then he's just going to double stint those tires to the end is what it looks like here. And that's going to save him about 4 seconds, so not necessarily the worst call in the world there from Nolander. The tires, again, do pretty well here at the Nürburgring GP based off my testing anyways throughout the week. But it is Dudley, and he is in command here, 13.7 seconds. But Lucas is closing. I mean, that gap we suspected was about 21, 22 seconds. It was 17 when he was in third place. Now he's moved up into second place, and the gap is now 13.5 seconds. So can Lucas 369 close up 13 seconds in 11.5 minutes? He closed up a pretty good gap at Daytona to battle Dudley for second place overall in that race. So we have seen the drive come from Lucas 369 before. Let's see if he's got it in him here today. 10 Tenths J said here he is 17 seconds in behind Lucas 369 right now, and he has Ishmael and Petrol both really tracking in here. Ishmael and Petrol battling for fastest lap here. It looks like right now currently Petrol holding that fast lap at a 142.076 as well. So but Ishmael was purple coming through that last timing sector, so Petrolhead benefiting from that as he's the car in the slipstream, trailing car, so he's probably getting a little more speed coming across the start-finish line and keeps stealing that away, I bet. So it's ATB, ATK's Death, and Misdevious just off in the background there. And this is three-way battle for sixth place here. Right now, just a two-way battle, and you can see that it's clumps of sand still coming off these tires when they do dip a tire there. It's not just little dust and morsels of sand. You can see they're still very clumpy, so that tells me that there's still moisture on the outside edges of the racetrack here. And oh boy, I'm not sure if that was lag or what was going on there, but a tap from Death into the back end of ATB there, and everybody is A-okay, but that was an interesting moment. We've seen a moment like that in the Le Mans chicane between Payme and Badass last week as well, and no harm, no foul there, no damage either, so that definitely tells me that was a lag-induced situation we just saw there, but that allows Misdevious to close right up on those two, and that should allow Nolander to close a little bit of time up as well, so battles are starting to develop here. 11 seconds to gap there, 1.3 seconds to gap between Jay and Ishmael here, and there's 9.5 minutes remaining in the race here still. We got Petrolhead here in fifth, real close behind, so that's a three-way battle for third place there, starting to develop on the racetrack as well. So a couple of juicy little battles starting to happen here on the racetrack in the last 10 minutes, and it always just seems to happen that way. These drivers always just seem to find a way. And it's ATB, Death, and Misdevious there. Misdevious gets a little bit of a hook on the curb there, and I really give her car a good yank, but she got a good run coming out of turn 4 there, and she's going to take a look up the inside of Death. He was going to go defensive there, but she was already there, and he got a good run into the corner there, so that battle is re-engaged. Let's move back to ATK's Death here, as right now the battle is now for 7th place here currently, as ATB is getting an opportunity to try and open up the gap a little bit here, and this is some hard battling here. This battle re-engaged between these two. They've had some good feisty battles here today, and a little bit of contact there between the two. And as we head into the Schumacher S's, it is going to be Misdevious up into 7th place there, Death down into 8th position, and Nolander still hanging it tough there in 9th place, but it is Dudley here in the race lead there as he comes around turn number 1, and a little unsettled there, but the car's kept underneath of him, and the drivers really need to be aware of that here with these LMP1 cars. They're very low to the ground. They're not really curb hopping cars, and Lucas has really been struggling coming out of turn 1 there. I thought we were going to see another tense moment, but he gathers the car up. So here we go. Ishmael closing in on 10 Tenths J set here right now. He is well in the slipstream here. He's got that down to almost half a second here as we head into turn number 1 and get ready to set up for AMG Arena. And Ishmael is applying some pressure here. Not too hard yet, but he is there. And let's see if he can find his way around J-Set here. There is plenty of time to engage this fight. There's still 8 minutes on this clock yet. And this is active three-way battle for third place between J-Set, Ishmael, and Petrolhead here. Alright, jump on board with Petrol here. He's a little bit behind the group here, about a second right now. So he's just kind of watching things develop in front of him here right now, and then that's going to allow him to continue to close in. But right now, Ishmael's being very patient. Jay has clearly had good pace here today. He's been up in the podium positions for most of the race here today as well. So, but Ishmael is really starting to close in here. He's got that car right there tucked in, and here we go. So here we're going to see it on. Jay going defensive here as we head up into the Bilstein curve. Great passing opportunity here. Which one of the drivers is going to get the better run heading up in towards the Vital chicane here, and Jay's going to take that defensive line here as we head up in towards the braking zone. Ishmael's going to take it on the outside, and who is going to outbrake who at this point? And it's going to be Ishmael getting the job done. So Ishmael Truth getting a nice move there done on TT's J-Set, the Vital chicane, to take third place, but J-Set's not done yet. He's going to try to respond on the outside in the Hyundai curve here. Blocks off the charge from Petrol as well, and Ishmael immediately moving over across the racetrack, to break that toe and to show that, hey, I'm not going to give you that inside line. You're going to have to take me on the outside. So here we go, and Jay is going to go in extra deep. Petrol's going to try and follow him through, but he's again, Ishmael with that tight inside line. Oh, and Petrol with the over-under there. That's a 3 wide heading into turn number 2, and this is turning into a very great battle here for third place. All of a sudden, as Petrolhead is now actively involved. He's on the outside of Ishmael here. J-Set is on that defensive track. Petrolhead has the position on Ishmael. He moves up into fourth place. Ishmael has to go real wide there. A little flash of the lights there, and he is going to tuck right back up in behind Petrolhead here. So maybe a little bit of contact there that pushed Ishmael out a little bit wide there. He didn't like that too much there. He just he's flashing the headlights at Petrolhead there, but whew, let's go see what's happening through the rest of the field here. Misdevious in 7th, Death in 8th, Nolander in 9th. Not too much has changed there. We got Dudley in first. The gap is closing 7 seconds, 5 minutes 40 seconds on the clock. Lucas is most certainly trying here. We got J-Set. He's been fighting for his life here in third place, but right now he's getting a little bit of help here as Ishmael and Petrolhead continue the battle there, and we got a little flash of headlights there as well from Petrolhead here. Let's go see that pass from Ishmael. All right, so Ishmael here is coming around in through the Bilstein curve there. He gets a good run on Petrol here, and the old switcheroo there heading up into the Schumacher S's there, and he's going to get the job done. So pass made by Ishmael right there, and a very heated battle going on here for 4th and 5th place between those two right now. So it is Dudley here still in the race lead. Lucas 369 trying to close in, and the gap is 5.4 seconds. We got 10 tenths J-Set here. Got a little bit of breathing room there with that very highly engaged battle in behind for 4th and 5th place between Ishmael and Petrolhead. He was involved in that battle there, but he got a little bit of a breakaway, but now Ishmael is tracking back in. So here we go again, 4.5 minutes on the clock. Petrolhead is 1.1 seconds in behind Ishmael here. ATB is 7.6 seconds in behind them. Miss Devious is 6 seconds in behind him. She's got the gap up to 3.2 on Death, and Nolander here is just moving and grooving. He's still moving and grooving. That's the important thing here. The race has not gone his way today, and that is a-okay. I'm sure that the rain has thrown a few of the drivers' idea of a strategy. Oh, and Dudley makes a big mistake right there. He goes really wide as he comes out of the corner there, and I mean, that's only going to cost him a couple tenths to Lucas 369 chasing, but not ideal. As you can see, the gap is now down to under 4 seconds, and we got about 4 minutes remaining here. So I think we might potentially see an exchange, or at least a battle for first place before the end of the race. And I don't know if the third place battle is quite finished yet here. Ishmael is tracking quickly. Petrol is working hard to try and close in on him. We got ATB there, and he's in no man's land right now. He's in a good spot, top 6 position here for him. Misdevious up into 7th place. We got Death having a spicy moment coming through the Schumacher S there, and Nolander coming across the line there, and he's got 3 minutes and 20 seconds left before the end of the race. I lost my train of thought there for a second. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so it is Lucas 369 here he is charging right now here in second position. And 2.6 seconds. We're keeping our eye on that very closely, but we're also trying to keep our eye on this battle here as well between these three drivers. And then everything else is kind of just settled down here a little bit on the backside of the field. But this is not over here. 2.2 seconds, 2.5 minutes on the clock. About every 10 seconds, it seems like Lucas is gaining about a tenth. And if that stays consistent all the way around this racetrack, we are going to see a potential final couple corner battle here between the two of them. That's the way it's setting up right now. We're trying, again, just to keep our eyes on all these little gaps here right now. So back on board with our race leader here. He's got 2 minutes, 10 seconds on the clock. He's heading into the Vito chicane. And Lucas 369 with a 1.9 second gap is tracking very, very quickly here. We've got 10 Tenths JSet in third place. We've got Ishmael. He's tracking as well. Well, he's got the gap down to almost a second here now. So these drivers are aware that time is of the essence basically at this point here in the race now. And for those that are close enough to try and battle for position, know that they have a lap to do it. It's going to be our final lap here for third place down. Lucas and Dudley, however, may get an extra lap here depending when they get across this start-finish line. It all depends if Lucas engages a battle before they get there or not with Dudley, because it appears that is what we're going to be seeing here. So final lap from JSet as he comes around. Ishmael is 1 second in behind, so it is a final lap showdown there for third place between those two. And let's get back up front here. We're going to keep our eye on first and second and third and fourth place here, mainly now for the remainder of the race here, because that is where the biggest potential is for battles and, of course, podium position changes here. And a big wiggle right there from Dudley. Lucas has got the gap to a second, but Dudley's opening it up here as we head up into the Schumacher S's. And, oh, wow, this is so close. Again, a nail-biter here from our Pro Division in round number 2. And all the craziness that happened at the beginning of the race shaken up to have another great race finish here at the end of the night for all 3 podium spots here. So let's keep our eye here. Ishmael is tracking very close here. Oh boy, this is going to be very good. All right, so leading into the Vito chicane here is Dudley and Lucas, and they are again going to get one more attempt at this here. So this is going to be a final lap battle between first and second place here as they're going to cross the line. They're going to have enough time to continue down the racetrack here. So there we go, final lap for our race leaders. That leaves TT's JSet and ERA's Ishmael Truth here now battling it out for the final podium position. And when these guys come across the line, that is going to be a checkered flag. Ishmael's closing hard, trying to get as much ground as he can here. Under braking, JSet is going to have to take hard defensive line here. Ishmael tried to get in there, but he blocks it off. And is he going to hold the charge here from Ishmael as they come around? Nolander's going to come around for a 9th place finish there. And it's a drag race to the line, but it is going to be JSet for 3rd place, and Ishmael is going to fall just short there in 4th place. Great push from Ishmael. It's going to be Petrolhead here in 5th place. Great first run for him here this season, coming in as reserve driver tonight. ATB is going to bring it home here in 6th position. 10 Tenths Miss Devious is going to bring it around here in 7th place for herself tonight. And ATK's Death here is going to have an 8th place finish here tonight. And spicy racing here. Oh, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. We just missed it. Oh my, okay, we have it pinned here. We're going to go take a look at that in a second. So Lucas does get the race lead here, and we do apologize to Death here, as I was just seeing that happening on the radar there, but Death is going to come across there in 8th place. You can see the checkered flag. Dudley trying to respond back to Lucas 369 here, and we are running out of racetrack here. We're coming around the Bilstein curve here now. Now that is going to set us up for the kink and the Vito chicane and the Hyundai curve. We are almost through here, and Lucas 369 does a great job there at getting the job done on Dudley. And we're going to try and get that replay just snuck in here as these guys come across the line and take a look at that pass here from Lucas 369 on Dudley. We just want to make sure we don't miss any return battle here, and it's going to be Lucas 369 with a race win here. It's going to be Dudley in 2nd place. Good job there to those 2 drivers. So here we go. Lucas 369 there coming out, and there we go. It's going to say no more replay for you. So great move there coming out of the 2nd sector of the racetrack, and it's going to be a race victory and pole position there for Lucas 369 here today. Make sure everybody saves your replays, please. All right, let's take a look at those results. So it is Lucas369 with pole position and the race win here today. It's going to be Dudley in second place. It's going to be Ten Tenths J-Set here in third place. And it's going to be Ishmael just finishing in behind J-Set there in fourth place. But he is going to take that fastest lap point home today. Team Rad's Petrolhead in fifth place. ATB in sixth from Race Asylum. We got Ten Tenths Miss Devious in seventh place. We've got ATK's Death here in eighth position. It is Team Rad's Nolander in ninth place, and Paymay there with a DNF here today. Got to take that 10th place finish. Great job there from all our racers. All right, well then, now that race out the window. That's all right. That's all right. There is 8 more, Nolander. It is all good. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump over to the podium interview screen. We're going to go set up our podium interviews here and have a chat with our podium finishers here. So it's going to be very, very interesting to hear what they have to say, of course, as well. But great job there to all of our drivers today. That was some crazy racing with that rain. I mean, how about that? That rain really threw the wrench in the program tonight, didn't it? Nice race, J-Set boys, getting fast. They are, aren't they, Robert? Aren't they? They are getting very quick. They put in a lot of work, though. They do put in a lot of work. All right, so podium interviews. Podium interviews, chat. That's what we're doing. We got to open Discord. That means the stream's probably going to lag for a second, so bear with. I don't know what that is. We're just going to close that. No biggie. That was some great racing right there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we just need to get up into right here. There we go. And we got a new mention. Oh, okay, we're good. All right, so we will wait to see if we get our third place finisher, Ten Tenths J-Set in, our second place finisher, Dudley, and our first place finisher, Lucas369. We'll have a little chat with those 3 drivers, and then we'll shut this stream down. We'll be back live in a little bit here too, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do some late night Nations Cup practice lobbies. We're just going to switch our overlay package. And I got home really late today, so I'd like to eat before we do that as well. So with that being said, that is the intention here for a little bit later today as well, is to get some Nations Cup lobby practice up here for our viewers as well. Get that practice. We need that practice. It's coming Wednesday. It's Cody B up in the house. How are you, my G? Welcome in. Appreciate that like on the stream, my dude. Hope you're doing fantastic. Showed my strong point in racing today, strategy on the fly. That was tough. That was tough. That was a tough call you made, Nolander. That was a tough call you had to make there today. The race really threw a program in the wrench for the drivers here today. So don't be too hard on yourselves. Don't be too hard on yourselves. You know, you practice, and then you come to the race, and the race is still the race, right? So it's going to make for some interesting highlights, that's for sure. But rain for just a couple of minutes here on the racetrack, and that was enough to really challenge the drivers here today. Some opted to stay on the racing slicks, some opted to take those intermediate tires, and it turned out to be a really good race at the end. We had a final lap battle for first and second and third and fourth place at the end of this race still, so it doesn't get a whole lot better than that. Yeah, I seen that. That's good. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Cody. It is fun. Set of Corsa is absolutely a blast. We got Dudley and Lucas in here. We're still missing Jay, so we'll go and have a chat with those 2 drivers. So let me get this all set up here. We got to make sure you can hear them, make sure I can hear them, and let's go rock and roll with some podium interviewees, shall we? All right, so we don't have TT's J set here yet. We may or may not see Jay. So let's get rid of that. And let's go have a chat with Dudley here, our second place driver. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we do have second and first place finishers in here, and I'll wait to see if third place comes in. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and have a chat with our second place driver, Dudley. Again, another great, fantastic race coming in for you here in round number 2. Good, solid drive. You had the lead of the race there for a while. You made a beautiful attempt at that one-stop strategy, and unfortunately for you, that race timer, again, not really your friend here today, allowing an extra battle lap there with 18 seconds left on the clock when you come across on that final lap, and Lucas36 got a good charge on you there in the middle part of the racetrack, and just held you off there coming to the start-finish line, but great race here again today. Second podium of the season for you. Talk us through how your day was.
I'm dead. I got nothing left. Uh, my heartbeat's still 125, and I've already taken my gloves off. Yeah, I figured given the gap to everyone behind, I would just try the one stop, see if it would work. I had nothing to lose, and were it not for a couple really messy laps in the latter half of that stint, it might have worked. Lucas was just too fast.
Absolutely, and if you guys are looking out of your paddock doors right now, it is raining on the
Oh,
racetrack.
now the
It is
rain
raining on
falls.
the racetrack right now, ladies and gentlemen. So the racers just getting across the line, and it is a good rain here to now coming down at Nürburgring as well. So, let's talk about that for a minute. The race starts. It did look a little bit hazy there when we were starting qualifying. We did make mention of that to the viewers watching at home, and then it was like lap 3. We get that little spurt of rain, a little quick downpour. It lasts for about a lap and a half. The track stayed relatively wet for about 5 or 6 laps. How was that to manage that on those racing slick tires? You were one of those drivers that opted not to come in for wet tires. And was that a call made, of course, from the crew chief behind the wall? They're telling you, hey, this is going to pass real quick. Just kind of tough it out if you can.
I had my eye on the radar and saw it was a pretty thin strip of rain. I was doing a rain dance the whole second half because then I would have been, I would have gained a pit stop, but fly off. And I mean, I cut the final chicane, one of those laps, and it reset me.
And we
It was
happened to actually catch that
just
as
helping
well
me.
when that one happened there. I'm very fortunate that there wasn't another driver attempting to make the Vito chicane there at the same time. Something that wasn't considered there by our racing officials there in that particular corner there with the rain situation. But glad everything was okay there and nobody got in any serious contact to contact trouble there. And but great strategy and you're again the clock really just kind of was not your friend here today. 18 seconds left on the clock when you crossed and I mean, at that point, how concerned were you that Lucas was close enough to get a charge on you for an extra lap? I mean, what was going through your mind when you're coming around the last sector there and you're looking at the clock and it's like, oh man, we got to go again. Kind of what goes through your mind at that point?
What was going through my mind is, man, I would have really liked a couple of those seconds back from a couple laps before when I sent myself off. But yeah, I figured I was having a tough time turning the car. I figured he was going to cut underneath me, and he did. Made a great move.
Absolutely, and I mean, 2 podium finishes, a third place last week and a second place this week, so definitely well secured in that three-way battle for the championship points lead here. And of course, with Payme exiting very early here in the race today, that is going to alleviate a little bit of pressure for the time being here for one of those drivers. So very early in the season, we've got a three-way kind of deadlock fight for that championship, and it's between Lucas36 and of course Dudley here. So with 8 rounds of racing remaining now, we head to Watkins Glen next weekend or next week for racing. It's a pretty fast racetrack. I mean, it's a great racetrack. The LMP1 cars go very quickly around there. I guess what's your strategy and your game plan as you prepare for Watkins Glen next week?
Given it's probably my worst track in this game, limit the damage.
Well, I mean, that is a fair, honest answer right there. And, it's just Watkins can really, really, really give you a bad day or a good day. And I guess, race officials as well are very keen on their track enforcement at Watkins Glen as well. They really like to hand penalties down to me when I'm on track there, that's for sure. But so it's going to be a fast flowing track. Of course, the bus stop is going to play a big part of that race next week as well. So I guess with that being said, it's not one of your best tracks. Does that mean you're just going to put extra time into it, or you're just going to let the cards lie where they lie for round 3?
I'm gonna put my time into it. I mean, the only way I'm gonna get better at there is to just run laps and try and figure it out. And if I can, I can't. If I can't, then well, It's always next week.
Absolutely, and we do have a drop round in play here this season for our racers as well, ladies and gentlemen. So that is always on the mind of the racers as well. So it is okay to have a bad racing day here, because you know what, you can just squash that one and forget it ever happened and continue on through the season. But congratulations on another great race here today, and just again, just a lap to hold Lucas off there. Didn't quite get it done, but I'm sure that we're going to see you standing on the top of the podium at some point this season. Here you have shown great understanding and pace. So congratulations. I guess any final remarks on your day and any shout outs and thank yous for viewers watching at home?
I'm gonna go have a nap.
Fair enough.
Nap and a stiff drink.
There we go. Well, we'll let you get back to the paddock, and we'll let you get into that trailer and start getting on that nap. Congratulations on a great race finish here today.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to take a peek here. Oh, we have our third place driver, so we are going to jump to 10 Tenths Simracing's J set here real quickly, and we're going to have a chat with him. So, interesting race here today, and you were also another one of those drivers when the rain hit very early on in the race to opt to stay on the racing slick tire. Now, were you aware when you made your scheduled pit stop, I'm assuming, that the weather was there, and was that a strategy call, or did you just not really realize that the rain was coming and just put on racing slicks? So what was the call there when you made your first pit stop here in the race today?
Oh man, I first of all, I don't even know what to say. I'm pretty speechless at this race. I started to go in for my pit. As I was getting ready to go in for my pit, I kind of looked up and went, "Oh, it's getting real dark." Went to try and check the weather and didn't get it done. Not before I caught a quick glimpse and yeah, missed it. Went into the pits and went, well, I'm just sticking with my strategy. Hopefully the rain doesn't get too bad. Thankfully it didn't. It was a kind of a small band there. It definitely got a little spicy for a couple laps, but yeah, it overall it was a fun race.
Absolutely, and I mean, a great drive from you here today. You had a lot of pressure coming from ERA's Ishmael and Team Rad's Petrolhead there, especially in the latter 15 minutes of the race there. You were really battling hard with them there, and then eventually the battle kind of turned between the two of them for a little bit, gave you a little bit of room to try and open that gap back up, and then boy, Ishmael really put a charge in back on you there in the final lap. So let's talk about that final lap here around Nürburgring GP. Now I know that you're fairly familiar and you like this track quite a bit, and you showed that in your pace and recognition with the car around the track here tonight as well. But talk us through that final lap battle with Ishmael. I mean, obviously you're more than well aware that he's there. What's going through your mind all the way around that final lap?
Oh, even before that, I looked up and I saw that fast lap, and I knew he was behind me. I knew he has really amazing pace, and my whole thought the whole time around that track was, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. Hit your points, just pay attention. And that final lap, he was on a charge, and I knew going into that final corner, whatnot. Had to try and defend it. If I left any room on the inside, he was going to get me. One more lap, I honestly don't know that I would have been able to hold him off for even one more lap. So it was yeah, that whole it was an intense battle the entire time.
Absolutely, and great recognition of that too, because he definitely looked like you were going to leave him the hole, and he definitely went for it there coming into that final corner. But you were already on the way to defending that line there, and just enough of a hold off there as he gave you a good charge to the start finish line. But really great racing here today, from a weather challenged race. I mean, the weather really kind of threw a wrench in the program for a lot of the racers here today, and a lot of the racers had to do a lot of strategy work to get back up into a position to even battle for position. So credit to all of our drivers on the racetrack here today, but especially to our podium finishers, because that was a tough day of racing out there. And with that being said, any final remarks on your race here this evening, and any shout outs and thank yous to the viewers watching at home?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a tough race. I never actually thought in this class of drivers, I never thought I'd even be doing an interview with you this season. So I'm beyond words. Don't even know what to say. I gotta give a shout out to the whole, Ten Tenths Racing team, all the help, all the, speed that they've, shown me. Everybody, even other people in Lucas, Biggie, pay me. I know they're not here. I know I wouldn't be on this podium. I don't think if they were here, they have some kind of pace, man. But the whole racing, community here is just, I've never really met anybody or been in a group involved like this. They're all so friendly and willing to help and stuff. So thank you to all of them for sure. Thank you to all the fans for watching, coming out and watching us do what we love. Thanks for you for, putting this on and being here, putting all the time in. Like you said, you were late getting home from work and probably haven't even had a bite to eat. And so got to thank my lovely wife. Honey, I wish you were here. But hope you'll be home soon. And finally, my parents, my mom and, Dave Lewis, definitely a huge, big shout out to him for, he's essentially my sponsor. He got me my whole rig set up and so thank you for everything you do. And once again, thanks for the fans.
Cheers and great shout outs right there, ladies and gentlemen. This man was prepared today, wasn't he? Great racing from you there, and we'll let you get back to that 10 Tenths clubhouse and go celebrate there with the team on your third place finish here in round number 2. Great racing from you today.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, last but most certainly not least, this man, and I bet you he enjoyed every bit of that race just as much as his combatant did. Lucas369, ladies and gentlemen, coming in with another great drive, a great push at the end, and a last lap charge there just to get the lead away about halfway through that last lap. But let's talk about the early part of the race. The rain. Did you anticipate any rain happening here today? Did you prepare for rain on the racetrack throughout the week? And were you happy with the call that you made when the rain hit the racetrack, and kind of what made you make that call?
First and foremost with qualifying, qualifying was going to be important, getting that track position early. We started the race, everything's going all right. Got a little bit of a gap to Peyton and Dudley back there, about 1.5 seconds, and then I flick over to the radar as soon as I saw some clouds, and I was a little curious. And sure enough, there was a big wall of rain coming, and the sliver, I knew it was going to come in pretty intense, but I knew I could weather the storm so long as I was patient. But I mean, that first lap when that weather really hit, as Dudley had that mistake at the chicane, so did I. But we were all over the track, and you see everyone diving in for the pits, and I was questioning it at first because it didn't seem like the track was wanting to dry up much, and we were about 13 seconds off of pace, 14 seconds off of what dry times are. So we were struggling. And we get through the rain, knew it was going to be all right. Just keep my head down, keep it nice, smooth, and consistent. This track is really all about getting in that rhythm and keeping in that rhythm. Like, you can't really lapse focus at any moment. And well, I got to give you a little bit of blame here, Ghost. The little commentator's curse at turn 1. I made that little gaffe, and that cost me about 15 seconds right there. And from then on, it was 125%. I was pushing as hard as I absolutely could, knocking in fast lap after fast lap with no draft, no battery, just pushing as hard as I could. Because if I could cut a second a lap, I knew there's a chance that I could catch him. But Dudley, the man's got pace. Can't doubt his pace at all. Like, I knew it was going to be tough. But him being on the mediums and one stopping, it was going to be a tough ask for me to catch him. But he kept making little mistakes, like he was saying, here and there. And on that last lap, he made one little mistake going into the final lap, and I think at turn 2, and I got the pass done as soon as no. I forget which hairpin it is, but no, it was wild. Super fun race. Like Dudley said, his heart rate after the race was still in the 120s. Mine at the finish was 156. So, I mean, we were both pushing. Super fun racing with him.
Absolutely, and again, another great recovery there from you. And yeah, you're right. We were on you at that moment, and that was a tough moment there as well. But you also had a repeat moment there with about, was it? I think it was about 13 or 12 minutes left to go. You came through turn one there, and you had that big slide that you
Yep.
gathered up. You definitely gathered that one up a lot better there. But great charge. And on that second last lap, I mean, you had to have known that the time was going to be close when you guys were coming around the final sector of the racetrack. Were you aware that you were going to have one more crack to go, or were you kind of leaning like, I need to try and get him here?
No, I knew based on the time loss of the laps that we had done up to that point. I think we overall I think it was about 23 seconds we lost. No, maybe 30. But overall, like with the practice races, I think we were able to cross onto lap 29 with about a minute to go. So I knew regardless we were going to get that 29th lap, and that was my saving grace, us being able to get to that 29th lap. Otherwise, Dudley'd be up on top of the podium, and I would not. I'd be second place this time around. But I mean, it's easily going to go the other way around at some point. There's no doubt about it. And then I think I got a nickname for Dudley now with these interviews. I'm going to start calling him Kimmy. He got that stone cold attitude, and I love it.
Absolutely, and I mean, absolutely great racing here from the pack. I mean, the rain really throwing a little bit of a wrench in the program, and it's kind of funny that you talk about groove and rhythm around Nürburgring GP, because we did speculate at about the midway point of the race that the rain may have done exactly that, thrown some of the drivers out of that early rhythm in the race, and they've been struggling maybe to get back into it through the remainder of the race as well. So. But the front pack there, you guys held it together. You made the tough call to hold out the rain on the racing slicks, take the time loss, and ultimately at the end of the day, benefiting with a great battle for all three podium positions here today. And you're going to come out on top, so that should give you a championship points lead here now heading into round number 2. But there's always that elusive drop round that needs to be factored in yet, and that will change everything at the end of the season. But now we head to Watkins Glen. It's our last time we're going to run this Audi R18 LMP1 car here this season. What is the goal?
Do what I was hoping to do today, and that is get the clean sweep. Watkins is probably going to be my strongest chance. The Audi is undoubtedly my best car of the season, so I got to take what I can early on, and then from there you just got to take it a race at a time.
Absolutely. Well, one last dance with the Audi R18 for our pros, ladies and gentlemen, next week at Watkins Glen here, and then we'll be moving into a different LMP1 car for round number 4 and number 5. So, any final remarks on your race today, and any shoutouts and thank yous you'd like to throw out to the viewers watching at home?
First and foremost, again, got to thank you for hosting these events, streaming, all the behind the scenes stuff that we do. Drivers, we wouldn't be able to have these series without the drivers, and we sure do have a good plethora of drivers with some serious pace. Everyone watching at home, everyone with a family, anyone that's tuning in, everyone here, can't thank you enough.
Well, we definitely appreciate it, and great drive out there again tonight. Going to be standing on the top of the podium here in round number 2 is Lucas369, and that is 2 different winners here so far this season from our pro division. So we'll let you get back to that clubhouse, go celebrate with that great crew behind the scenes, and we'll see you at Watkins Glen next week.
Thank you, sir.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen, our podium interviewees, and what a great group of drivers, I tell you what. What a great race. These guys and gals today, these racers, really had tough racing conditions today. The rain really throwing a wrench in the program here today, and a little unexpected, to be honest. I really did suspect that there was a very small chance based off of all of the practice sessions that I've seen going on all week long. Of course, all the practice sessions I was also involved in and a part of the Ten Tenths Simracing group, trying to get those guys and gals ready. We didn't have rain in any of them. So it was a little bit of a shock to me to see it. It is kind of funny. We did talk about it in the Discord earlier today, and one of the drivers did make mention that, I probably jinxed it. And well, lo and behold, we got a nice little rain shower early on here in the race today. So with that being said, what do we have in store for tomorrow night's race? Guess we have to wait to find out. We'll be live at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night for our Pro-Am multi-class split division here, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, we got Pro-Ams and the AMs racing at the same time, but racing their own races here in lobby number 2 on Tuesday nights. And that will be hosted right here at GT45 Gaming, live on Facebook and YouTube, and without the internet dropout issues like we had last week. And we appreciate everybody's support. I mean, I don't know. It was a tough race out there today. I mean, Nürburgring GP is already a tough enough racetrack as it is for a lot of the racers in the community. There isn't a lot of big fans of this particular layout of racetrack at Nürburgring. It's just technical. It's difficult. It is hard to stay consistent and stay focused on. And like you said, you really need to kind of stay in that focused rhythm, like you heard from Lucas369 earlier in the interview there. And that's exactly true. So that early rain doing exactly that, really throwing the rhythm of some of the teams out, some of the drivers out, and it really made for an interesting race. It really spread the race out in the middle part of the race. But then we speculated on how some of these drivers may adjust their strategies, go for that long 32 minute fuel window. And we did see a couple of those drivers do exactly that and worked their way back up through the grid because of it as well. But the two-stop strategy, which we did touch base on at the beginning of the broadcast, did ultimately come out on top here today as well. So we had two stops and a one-stop strategy on the podium here today. What our Pro-Ams and AMs do tomorrow night is still up in the air, as we'll see it live right here. We appreciate everybody, all the likes, the shares, the comments on the stream as well. We're going to catch up with everybody here in just a second, but huge shout out to the presenters of the series, Ten Tenths Simracing, and of course I was your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Let's catch up with all you great folks at home here first before we send it off tonight. Definitely want to give the shout outs where we can. There was a lot of reactions coming in tonight. We've got Kelt coming in with multiple shares there. Murray coming in with the heart and the share. TDC Gaming coming in with the heart and the share. We got Nolander Gaming coming in with the heart. Chris Reese with the like and the share. We've got Aaron with the heart, the like on the stream. Robert Heck with the heart on the stream. Cody Bass with the like. Ghost Viper Gaming with the like on the stream. Paul Bonstrom with the heart. We got It's Cody B in the house with the like on the stream. Leo with the heart on the stream as well. And over there on the YouTube, kicking it there. 11 likes. Love to see it. Hope everybody enjoyed the broadcast here today. And what another great race by the Winner's Circle community. I mean, this competitive racing group here at GT45 Gaming, no matter what series we have running, no matter what challenges we seem to throw at this driving community, they seem to be up to the task, and they do it so well. So congratulations to all of our drivers today, and I thank them for their continued support here at GT45 Gaming. Thank you for the likes and the shares, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed it. Tomorrow, 50 minutes here at Nürburgring GP. 14 of our Tier 2 drivers. And the unknown weather factor here one more time. We'd like to thank all the officials and, of course, the Nürburgring track for allowing us to rip up their track with these beautiful LMP1 cars. And I would like to thank all the volunteers and administration staff behind the scenes for all the hard work they do to keep things moving and grooving in between the weeks, answering questions, and all the not so fun stuff that we have to do in between racing weeks. But thank you so much. And again, stay tuned for the socials. We're going to have those Driver of the Day awards out again near the end of the week and posted up on the socials, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to have some highlight videos here coming again on the weekend here for the prototype challenge from round 2 as well. Make sure, if you haven't seen the round 1 highlights yet, there's something a little different this year than what we typically do. You definitely got to go check it out over on the YouTube channel there. We posted them up last night, so there is the Pro and the Pro-Am ones sitting there as well. Do us a favor, make sure you like and share those bad boys out and hit the like on those. The more that we could push that, the better for the channel, the more amazing action and viewers we're going to get here watching these races, and the more potential we have of bringing more great racers to the series as well. So we appreciate y'all. Remember, y'all matter. Don't hesitate to reach out. There's always somebody in the community that is willing to listen or may have a way to help. You just never know. If you don't ask, you don't know. We don't bite. We're very friendly. We just want everybody to succeed in life, stay winning, and we'll catch you on the next one.
I've got that lightning inside me, son of a god. I'm like a titan that's rising, oh, just you watch. I'm stepping into fate, there is no time to waste. I've got that lightning inside me, this is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. I'm cranking up on the throttle, victory is mine. Show you the harder the battle, harder I fight. I've come too far to quit. Step back, I'm going in. I'm cranking up on the throttle. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. Like iron from the fire, getting stronger. This is how legends are made. Above it all, untouchable. A new era.